Hey, what's up? What's up? Afternoon work time podcast. We finally we got one in this week. I didn't think we were gonna get one in because busy week, but we was able to do.
It's good that it's been busy, right? I mean,
I like being busy. Yeah, it's like I feel bad for the podcast sometimes because I feel like it's not given the attention.
Right.
But we just have other things going on. It's always been.
And with that, we've been doing that. Like back in the day, when we just Skype, we can throw it together real quick. But since we're doing this, it's a little more of a commitment of time,
right?
Versus just slap on Skype, and let's do this for an hour and be done.
Yeah, I think what we'll do maybe in the new year is, instead of skipping weeks, if we just have to Skype and not go live, we just put out audio that week.
Right.
We don't have to go live every week.
Right.
I think that hurts us when we miss like 3 weeks.
Right.
People just like, I guess they're done.
Yeah.
Or they move on.
The main thing with
you can see when we skipped like those massive weeks,
right?
Like the dip, just like, all right.
Yeah.
I'm finding a new podcast now.
Like people who are involved in podcasting say consistency is key. That is the key. You have to be consistent with it.
Yeah.
Even if it's not like a topic or whatever, like if your content isn't consistent, you have to be consistent.
No, yeah, yeah. But
how'd your voice just go up?
Yeah.
Like a little puberty?
Puberty hit today at 43 years old. Got some puberty. And that's that.
Yep.
I put up a clip from last night's show. Some audio. I like doing that on Instagram. Some people give me some reaction. Like I take audio clips. I'll put a picture to it, and then I'll break it up into the 50. I have this thing called split video.
Okay.
Where it'll break up any audio piece into 15-second clips for
Instagram
really? Story.
Is that an app or is it something you?
It's an app on my phone. So I edit my thing on my computer, send that video over to my phone.
Right.
Then I have split it up. But then I gotta, like, when you upload the 15 seconds, like you have to like put the sound on thing so people know that there's audio.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if it splits it up, like last night's was like a 2-minute clip, so it's 10 clips.
Right.
So I put 1 of 10, 2 of 10, so they can know. Like,
I got you.
We gotta keep going on.
Right.
But it's funny because it's like you'll see like 13 people watched, like these same 13 people watched all 10. But then you'll see some that like dropped off. It's like, I got through 6, and then I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, were you not liking it, or you just like have other things you do?
I just noticed that last night I posted that picture of the friggin' I posted that video of the friggin' camouflage truck with the flag parked right. Did you see that on my Instagram story? There's a like a camouflage pickup truck.
Oh yes.
With a flag right at Fox News.
That was the perfect.
I was
in
like,
front of
can
Fox.
this be any? And I posted a video. I'm like, oh, look at this. And I said something, and I seen people, like 60 people saw the first part of that.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the second part where I just say, this is where this car would be. Parked perfect. It's Hannity's car.
Uh-huh.
And nobody made that video. They saw the first one, saw me say something about the truck in front of Fox News, and like 16 of those 60 didn't want to see what I had to say about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. I wish I'm going to look and I'm going to go down the line and see the 16 that didn't join the next video.
Right.
And I'll be able to figure out why they didn't look.
Yeah.
I'm like, I get why you didn't go further.
Right.
You thought I was going to shit on Trump. I didn't even mention him.
And Instagram stories are weird because like I have like a good chunk of people that continually interact with my stories.
Yeah.
Send me private messages, like LOLs.
Right.
But the amount of voyeurs that just watch and give no reaction.
Right.
You're just like,
I gotta I gotta imagine if people are like me on Instagram stories, they're just tapping through and they're probably not even watching it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm totally fine with that. Because I do that too. I don't interact on everything I see.
No, but I'm saying if you have a 15-second video, I'm sure on my videos, the people who made it all the way through didn't even watch the 15 seconds.
Right.
Like, bing, bing, bing,
bing, bing, bing. But I'm talking about even like I'll do like a poll.
Right.
So you'll be like, all right, 80 people saw this poll. 20 participated. And it's like as simple as like, I mean, I'm not asking for like political things. I'm like, pizza or ice cream for dessert. Like, I'm trying to help. It's like, really, the 60 other like you just couldn't hit yes or like pizza or ice cream. You couldn't like these aren't hard hitting questions.
Right.
What do you got going on in your life? You couldn't help me with that vote. And you continued on to the rest.
Right.
It wasn't like you dipped off after that.
Yeah.
You saw my next 10 photos. You wasn't in that much of a rush.
Right.
You're just like, I don't want to participate in this. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I had that slider thing on one of my things. Like, am I killing it? Like, and like, no, like, 80 people saw the video and 6 people just did the slider. It's like, you couldn't even slide.
Yeah.
Just a little slider. A little slide. It's not, I'm not asking for nothing. Just slide. You even got to think about it. Slide.
No.
Yeah. Well,
wow.
Social media is fun.
Social media is kind of fun.
It's not really.
No. I was after my show last night. A woman she goes, "Can I get a selfie with you?" I'm like, "Sure." And then her friend goes, "You got to put it on social media." And then she goes, "I don't do that shit."
Then what's the picture?
So I'm like, "You just have a picture of me and your phone." Like,
I'd be like, "Can you delete that?"
It was so funny. Yeah.
I don't post pictures. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I do that all the time. When people take pictures, like want to take pictures, and I'm like, "Here's my card. Please tag me in it so I can have it on my social media."
Right.
And they're like, "Oh yeah," and they don't. It's like, I've had hundreds of pictures taken. They're like, yeah, and I'm like, just tag me on it, and I never see it. I'm like, what good is that picture for me?
It's just because we're nobody, and it's just like, if they took a picture with Sebastian, it's like all their friends be like, "You saw Sebastian?"
Yeah,
they put a picture of me. Like, who the fuck is that? I was in Uncle Vinny's comedy club, and you took a picture with the waiter. Why? No, he was actually a guy telling the jokes
That's
on
a stock
stage.
boy from CVS. Why are you doing?
Yeah.
It's true.
Or did you ever get like that? Like you'll get like a person that became your fan of the show, and they'll friend you, and then they'll tag you. Just saw Joe Fernandez at the comedy shop. So funny. And like a friend of ours, who the hell's that?
Yeah. It's like
I get it, man. I say that to myself every morning. Who the hell's that?
I hate somebody will post that. Like, I just went and saw this guy. One of the funniest guys I've ever seen. And you ever see this guy? It's like,
yeah, let's start promoting a new guy.
Why can't you just like let that guy enjoy who he saw?
I know. We're the guys that need it. Exactly. We're the guys that need it.
Right, yeah.
The famous guy doesn't need more.
You ever see Carlin? Yeah, we've seen Carlin.
Yeah.
Assholes.
That's like I had a few more people like share I get like notifications when people share my short film, and some people that we have some like mutual friend I don't even know.
Right.
And I was like, "Oh, thank you." And the guy's like, "I'll share anything you post now." Like, that's how much he liked it. I'm like, thanks, man. But he didn't follow me. He's just like, so unless his friend shares it to him again, he ain't never. Yeah. This is going to be a long time so you share something. I had to have like 3 people to share it for you to get to share it.
That's funny.
Big Mark. What's up? What's up, Mike? Brother Joe? Sorry, Brother Mike.
Yeah.
I love Mark. He's awesome.
What's up, man?
And got Ritu here. Got Scott Brennan.
Oh, hey, what's up, guys?
Comedians are all just watching because no one's working during the day.
Yeah. No writing going on.
No writing going on. We appreciate it, though. We can take any.
Don't write. What did I want to talk about? Oh, did you watch any of the Bush stuff?
I don't watch funerals on TV. I'm not a fan of funerals as a whole.
Yeah. So
actually, the waitresses asked me that last night. They were like, "Did you watch it? It was amazing." I'm like,
I didn't watch it.
No, first off, I was like, is this like the director's cut? It seems like it's been going on for like a month. I feel like every time I turn the TV, there's a casket. There's people like, how long do presidents die for?
It's a 2-day. It's a 2-day.
Oh, it's a 2-day event?
Yeah.
It seemed like a week.
No, it was a 2-day lay in state. You know what I'm saying? Lie in state. And then yesterday was a funeral. And then today is a private ceremony for their family.
Yeah.
And then they bury him today.
Yeah.
So he died on Saturday.
He's like, get me in the fucking ground already. We get it.
It's part of your, right? No, he died like last week sometime, Friday or Saturday, right? And then, you're a public figure. You were the president, so you have to,
I get it.
Got to hang around for a little while, bro.
I get it. Just, I was the odd person out when last night when they were all like, really, like, did you see it? And I'm like,
I just saw pieces of it. I didn't
Yeah.
fucking watch it. I was just walking through the kitchen, like looking on the TV for a few minutes. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, Bush was the first president I ever voted for, so it was like pretty like, oh.
Oh, you voted for him?
Mm-hmm. The first president I was ever allowed to vote for.
Yeah.
So when he was Reagan's vice president and he was running for president, I was a kid watching Reagan. Like Reagan was like this cool dude.
Yeah.
And he was like his partner. Like I'm a kid. I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that guy's his boy. Now his boy's running. I guess I'll vote for his boy. I don't know how it works. And his boy, I voted for his boy, and then he said that whole read my lips, no new taxes. And I didn't know anything about anything. And then the next time around, I didn't vote for him because it's like you raise taxes, but you said no new tax. You raise taxes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just, as a kid, I was 22 now at the time. I'm like, no, you can't get my vote, dude. You lied. I don't know how it works. You know what I'm saying? You lied. And then you find out, 30 years later that he had to raise taxes and how great what it did for the country.
Yeah.
It took some time for the changes to occur, but it's because of those taxes that corrected the ship. Now, he's probably done a lot of shitty things and probably voted for a lot of shitty policies that I might not have ever agreed with, but I didn't know that. You know what I mean? He was a kid. You know what I mean? But his overall personality seemed like he was like a fucking good person. That's what I saw. Like, I mean, he didn't have to go to war.
Most evil people.
He went to fucking war.
No.
He didn't have to at 19. He didn't have to.
No.
If anybody could have said, you know what? I think I'm going to bow out of this. His father would have taken care of him. But he didn't.
I was that generation.
Yeah.
I grew up Mark in the chat. I bet he wasn't even at his own funeral. He was in a freezer back in Houston.
Probably.
Yeah. Cryogenically frozen so he can still be reawoken in 20 years for more world domination.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
That guy ain't world dominating anything for the last few.
What?
That dude hasn't been world dominating for a while.
No.
You know what I mean? When you have a service dog, you don't dominate the world. Sorry.
Yeah, but he contributed to some.
Then, not now.
No, not now.
That's what I'm saying.
No, he's reaping the benefits of it. Just living in the lap of luxury with all that oil money and and globalization.
Yeah.
Where he, took all the jobs from us. And
Yeah, way to break it down, Joe.
I'm breaking it down politically, but no, I didn't watch the funeral.
3 fucking blurbs he read on a blog. Globalization, oil money, lap of luxury. You know how he's doing it. It's like
Keyword. I could be a blogger. I just get 3 keywords, just keep repeating them, and then that's it.
Yeah,
it's true. You know why it's true? Because it's in print.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's on a webpage.
Yeah.
As long as I'm in the first 3 pages of Google search.
It's legit.
It's legit. Has to be. Has to be.
Has to be.
Has to be.
Yeah, that is the new criteria. How many O's in the Google? 6. Ah, you're not real news.
Yeah, you're not real news.
Did you see? Did you watch the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel yet? Did you watch any of the new season?
I have been I am not caught up on any shows. I am so fucking busy.
Right.
It's literally I'm working on something or I'm sleeping.
Right. Yeah,
Like I have no time. I know it just came out yesterday, right?
Yeah, I just watched the first episode of this season.
Yeah. I'm hoping this weekend I got no gigs.
It's a good show.
Oh, actually,
man.
no, I do have gigs. I'm thinking next weekend I may start watching TV.
Okay. It's a good show, man. It's a really good show.
I loved the first season. I thought it was really good.
I mean, I took my time with the first season. I just finished it, yesterday.
Yeah, it starts off a little like dancey, and you're like, "What's happening here?"
Yeah.
But then
I
once
was
it
watching
settles in,
musical.
Tony Shalhoub is like the
dad?
funniest guy on the show. Man,
dad?
he is so funny, man.
Yeah. And the first episode, he's just as funny.
Oh,
I love what's called her manager.
Yeah,
That chick fucking kills me.
it's
That chick kills me. When they were in court and she stood up and the judge was like, "Sit down, sir," and she's like, "They just call me sir." Like, and then she says to Maisel, she's like called her Barbara or something like that. She goes, "Do I look like a Barbara?" She's like, "No, you look like a Doug." That's a good show, man. I like it a lot.
It is good. It is good. Yeah, and I don't even know if I'm like I got so many things I want to work on this winter. I'm like I hope I have free time,
Right?
Because I told you with that screenplay that I had written years ago, I'm thinking about making it into a 1-act play instead because of it's like a 1 location thing.
Right.
So now I'm like reading books on 1-act play structure and trying to teach myself that. So I feel like that's going to be my winter, is like focusing on that little.
Yeah, I don't watch television. I watch it at 1 in the morning is when I watch.
Yeah, I got to tell my wife just to move on without me. She's been waiting for some shows. I'm like, you're just going to have to.
Right.
I may never get to it.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Sometimes it's just not. I mean, I can't pile up shows. I mean, two maybe I can watch.
Or sometimes once I'm like settled in, like on the couch, I'm like, I don't even want to think.
Right.
That's why I miss baseball. It's like I just.
That's why I watch Friends all the time, because Friends makes me laugh. Still, I've seen every episode. I do the dialogue in my own head. Don't even need to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can like put it on, be on my phone or be on my computer, and still know where we're at with it. And it's like, and that's what I let that run all day long.
Yeah.
I don't watch this. This show is the only one I've been watching.
Yeah.
In the past week and a half, I've been trying to like an episode here and there, and like when Bill Maher's on and John Oliver, I'll have to watch those on a Monday or Tuesday because I do them on demand.
Right.
And that's the only shows I really like. And Better Call Saul. I mean, there's no other shows like I gotta get this in. That's not my. I just can't. I can't. It's just too much. My brain doesn't want it.
Nah, yeah, and even like sometimes when I'm chilling here, just putzing around the guitar, I'll either be on YouTube going like looking at like songs I want to learn,
right, and
like some tutorials on that, or it's like, you know, YouTube just starts knowing what you're looking at, so they start feeding you videos. So you know, I sometimes just have Rogan on in the background,
right,
you know, because it's like 3-hour show, you could just do your thing, and then like Jordan Peterson was on there. That he's like really famous now, this Canadian psychologist, big in the news.
Yeah.
And I'm just been addicted to his point of view on things. So
Right.
it just keeps feeding me all these Jordan Peterson videos.
Right.
And because it's like a lot of it's psychology and self-help, then I'm getting Tony Robbins videos, and I'm like, this guy's breaking it down. You know, like I'm like totally relating. I'm like, what is happening in my life? Like,
right.
It's just like, because you look at a guy like Tony Robbins and you're like, this fucking white tooth monster just selling out stadiums, just.
If anybody everybody classifies him as a big white tooth monster.
I mean, base level, base level. He just seems that way. Yeah. But I always like casted him off into the same category as like when I see like those televangelists, like a Joel Osteen, like or something. Yeah. So I'm like, but then you listen to him and you're like,
Joe, what's your take? Oh, okay. Oh.
What's your take? I just make noises. That's my take. No, but I never listened to him before.
Right.
I just because you're done with a YouTube video, then it goes into another one.
Yeah, right.
And he just was like so good.
Right.
Like you want to get shit done.
Yeah.
Like he just.
I don't want anybody. I don't want to watch those videos because I don't want.
You don't want motivation?
No, leave me alone.
I don't want nobody talking me out of watching Friends half-heartedly.
Exactly.
And wasting my life. I enjoy wasting my life.
I enjoy it. I waste it at my own pace.
No, but it's just these different, like even different things I've been struggling with lately.
Right.
He's broken down in these audio clips I've been listening to of like, and I just relate. I'm like, oh my god,
right.
Like it's like that. Oh, I'm not alone.
Yeah,
like,
no,
this
that's
is like this whole thought process that I'm having. This
right
weird thing is very common.
Right,
and it makes you feel better. You're like, oh, so it makes you want to keep listening to this guy because you're like, man, he keeps saying things that
you identify with and
pull me out of my funk.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah,
because therapy's got me all fucking whacked out, man. It's
job. Did you go today?
No, yesterday.
Yeah.
I know why people stop going to therapy. I'll tell you that. I like going to therapy, but I know why people stop going to therapy because it's like I feel like I don't know, man. Like hours seem to whip by. It's like, yo, you want to do another one? Like I feel like I feel like I'm almost like more confused sometimes when I leave therapy. Like not more confused, but like. I don't know what I'm expecting from it. I'm expecting it to like,
yeah, but it's the thing. It's what it's proving is that it's still your life is an action.
Yeah,
it's not a talk, not a talkie. It's an action. So you go in there and you talk, and then you get direction on what to take as an action, not talking good enough.
Right, yeah. So like she'd be like, "Yo, you should stop doing this," and I'm like, "Well, got any other things we can do other than that? I don't want to stop." Well, that's probably why you feel this way, because you keep doing this. It's like,
cool.
All right. But if I did want to keep doing that, is there any other way to make me feel better about it? That's I'm trying to manipulate her.
Yeah, and she's not going to go for it.
No, she goes, well, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah,
So I'm here to
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm like, you're right, but I don't like it. Okay? Okay.
I'm going to keep doing it. Okay?
Yeah. What happened to a few weeks ago when you thought
break
I was
down,
great and everybody else sucks? Yeah. Why I suck now?
Because you're an obstacle.
Because I'm an obstacle. Yeah. Mark is right. He has the best job. He fills arenas to tell people they're losers and need to change their lives. I agree with you. However, I think most of us are losers and need to change our lives.
Absolutely. Yeah. Did you see that the Hannah Gadsby new thing that she did? She was in the news for?
No.
Huh?
No.
She did a morning, like a breakfast for
gay people?
No, for women in like Hollywood. It was like Hollywood Insider or Hollywood something. You know what I'm saying? And she
Inside Edition?
Stop, man.
All right.
And she was speaking at this for breakfast, and she just went up, and they were still settling in. People were just she had to go up like cold, what people without sitting and like
like a real gig.
Yeah, and she even said so. She was like, comedians love a good breakfast gig, you know what I'm saying? It's like everybody's settled in, and she's like, I'll wait, and people settled in, and her topic was. She goes, I want to talk about the good men and the whole place. It was mostly, I don't know if it was mostly women. It was a lot of women. And everyone clapped. And she's like, and Ava Sidham claps like, you're probably going to regret those claps in a few minutes. Because she didn't mean it like that. She didn't mean she wanted to talk about the good men who talk about the bad men.
The good men that talk about the bad men? What's that mean?
And if you listen to it, I was going to tell you to play it, but it's long. So not long. It's probably 7 minutes.
Give us the Cliff Notes.
Well, the Cliff Notes are, she said, she wants to speak about a big problem she has with good men talking about bad men. So meaning good men, there's only two categories they place them in. A Weinstein, Cosby category, right?
Right.
Or a friends of guys didn't know the rules. You know what I'm saying? Good guy just didn't realize the rules of, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Misogyny. She's
okay.
You know what I'm saying? And she called all the guys. She said it's the good guys are these guys the late night, and they don't have to get up because they don't have to really get up early to do their commentating because they wait till late night. And she was talking about all late night hosts. She's like we're gonna just call them the Jimmies.
The Jimmies.
You know what I'm saying? She's like, we get the Jimmies and the Daves, and they are good people. And a lot of them are my friends. She goes, I got a couple of friends that are Jimmies. Said, but it's when they tell you there's only the Cosbys or the guy that just kind of stepped over the boundaries, the line. Yeah, you know what I mean? Making excuses. And her point is that we all have these lines in the sand that we think, I know I'm a good guy because I don't cross that line.
Right.
The problem is that the good guys are the ones who are telling you where the line is. The good guys are the ones telling us where the line should be. Instead of and her point was and it was really eye-opening, makes a lot of sense. Point was men shouldn't be telling women where the line is in the sand.
Right.
It should be them in control of the line. So if a guy says there's all these excuses for why the line changes, you get, you know what I mean? It was drunk. There's always these reasons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To change the line.
Yeah.
And she said basically everyone in this room, we all do it. We all change the lines in the stand because we want to be good people. Because innately, all humans want to be good. The problem is everybody thinks they're good.
Right.
Even the bad guys think they're good guys.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's because they're in charge of their line.
Yeah.
I never crossed the line. I know that. And it's maybe you didn't cross the line you'd think is okay. But you crossed the line.
Yeah.
And it just and I tweeted this to like at her. I was like, it's like letting the citizens dictate the speed limit for the day. And the cop pulls you over. He's like, pulled you over. Speed limit's 55. Like, oh no, it's 83 today. And the cop's like, oh my bad, get out of here. Like,
right.
The speed limit's 55, bro. That's it. You don't get to say the speed limit's 83. You know?
Yeah. Well, I guess if you're talking about like
misogyny. That's what they're talking about. Not rape, not misogyny. Just talking about men. Misogyny is what basically the topic. But she also went into race, like
what's misogyny again? Just the definition of it's just not coming to me. Like I thought at first we were talking about
sexual harassment.
Sexual harassment.
No, but that's like.
I'm thinking. I was just thinking, like while you're saying, I'm thinking like the line, like you don't know what crossing the line. Like if you're with a girl,
right?
It's like I feel like you're always like say you're with a new girl, you're always just you learn the line from her,
right? Who's in charge of the line?
Her.
That's the point of it,
right?
She's in
charge.
That's
how I've always felt since meeting girls as a young kid.
But that's not very specific. That's not what she was talking about.
Right.
I mean, this is real quick. I'm not going to play the video, but it's like I want to speak about the very big problem I have with the good men, especially. Let me put my glasses on and don't space out on me reading what people say on their walk. It doesn't matter. I want to speak out the very big problem I have with the good men, especially the good men who take upon themselves to talk about the bad men. I find good men talking about bad men incredibly irritating. And this is something the good men are doing a lot at the moment. Not at this moment, not this minute, because the good men don't have to wake up early for their opportunity to monologue their hot take on misogyny. They get primetime TV and late shows. It says, I tell you what, I'm sick of turning my television on at the end of the day to find anywhere up to 12 Jimmies giving me their hot take. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with the Jimmies and the Davids and the other Jimmies. Good guys, great guys. Some of my best friends are Jimmy. But the last thing I need right now in this moment in history is to listen to men monologue about misogyny and how other men should just stop being creepy, as if that's the problem. If only these bad men just knew how to not be creepy. Is that a problem? Men are not creepy. Do you know what's creepy? Spiders. Spiders, because we don't know how they move. Rejecting the humanity of a woman is not creepiness. It's misogyny. So why can't men monologue about these issues? Well, they can, and they do. My problem is that according to the Jimmies, there's only two types of bad men. There's the Weinstein and Bill Cosby types who are utterly horrible, and they might as well be different species to the Jimmies. And then there's the FOJs, the Friends of Jimmies. These are apparently good men who misread the rules. Garden variety, consent dyslexics. They have the rule book, but they just skimmed it. Oh, that's a semicolon. My bad. I thought that meant anal. And then she just said, sorry to the vegans in the room. My issue is that when a good man talk about bad men, they always ignore the line in the sand. The line in the sand that is inevitably drawn whenever a good man talks about a bad man. I'm a good man. Here's the line. There are all the bad men. There are all the bad men. The Jimmies and the good men won't talk about this line, but we really need to talk about the line. Let's call it Kevin. I don't know why she said that. Let's call it Kevin, and let's never call it again. We need to talk about how men will draw a different line for every different occasion. They have a line for the locker room, a line for when their wives and mothers and daughters and sisters are watching, another line for when they are drunk and fratting, another line for non-disclosure, a line for friends, and a line for foes. You know why we need to talk about this line between good men and bad men? Because it's only good men who get to draw that line. And guess what? All men believe they are good. We need to talk about this because guess what happens when only good men get to draw the line? This world. A world full of good men who do very bad things and still believe in their heart of hearts that they are good men because they have not crossed the line, because they've moved the line for their own good. Women should be in control of the line, no question. Now take everything I've said up until this point and replace man with white person. And know that if you are a white woman, you have no place drawing lines in the sand between good white people and bad white people. I encourage you to also take the time to replace man with straight or cis or able-bodied or neutral type, etc., etc., etc. Everybody believes they are fundamentally good. And we all need to believe we are fundamentally good because believing you are fundamentally good is part of the human condition. But if you have to believe someone else is bad in order to believe you are good, you are drawing a very dangerous line. In many ways, these lines in the sand, we all draw our stories we tell ourselves so we can still believe we are good people.
Okay. Not exactly the comedy set that I thought it would be.
She wasn't doing.
No, I know.
No, but that's not what I was reading.
Yeah,
I'm not doing comedy.
No, I know. No, I guess. Yeah, I guess she's right.
I just thought it was enlightening. It was enlightening, like a way to look at it. Like it enlightened me. Whether it enlightens you, I don't really care. It enlightened me, not you personally. I don't care who got something out of it. I'm just saying that when I heard it.
Enlighten you in what way?
Huh?
Enlighten you in what way?
Enlighten me in what way of the fact that we all do. Like even, and I'm not saying I'm a good or bad. I'm just saying we justify what we think the line should be.
Right.
And but on the other end is something I wrote is that I don't want to live in a society that there's a standard line.
Right. I think we do. Yeah. I think humans do that in their life with all things.
No, that's what she was.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's human nature. It's like it's actually something that just ironically Tony Robbins was talking about. Similar thing. It's like this survival thing.
Right.
That's that humans do.
Right.
To get what they want.
Yeah, that's what
to get the things they want.
That's what she's saying.
And it's always like, because there's like a fine line of like selfishly going for what you want, and how it affects other people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, if you take it to the sexual part, that's like really, really bad.
Right.
But I guess as far as like, no, I can't disagree with anything she says. It's just like,
it just was like, and when she said, replace the word men with white people, like it just was like you can't tell a black person where the line should be for them.
Right.
Like you just can't do that. But we do that. Like you'll do that because you'll have a group of people when something is shined on, like this was wrong, and a group of white people will be like, no, it's not wrong because he only did this. Like, well, who told you that that's where the line is? That's what I mean. Like they seem to get the very defense. My thing is like if something comes up about men, misogyny, white people, and your first go-to is like defensiveness, and well, you may look at that. You know what I'm saying? Because why you get so defensive when somebody's pointing out something that happened to them?
Right.
And they feel this.
Yeah,
no. You know what I mean? But
yeah, it depends on the situation.
Yeah,
you know
but
I mean?
Also don't want to live in a society where there's just this line that we all have to be, this is where I'm on. Because I'm talking about, even take the Louis C.K. thing. This is not about sexual harassment, but I'm going to go there for a minute. Like Louis was doing whatever he was doing, but there were some broads that he hung out with that he did it to, and they were just like, fucking Louis, you stop it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I know there's girls in my life that I grew up with that if you did something dumb like that, they would be like, you dumb. Cut that up. And they wouldn't even think about it another second.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like you go to a girl like, yo, we should fuck or something. Like, fool around. Like, we're not fooling around, you asshole. And then it's over. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like, I know that if another woman, I would have never said that to her. Like, just there was a relationship there that I was able to say that to her. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But I wouldn't just say it to any girl. Well, me and you, like, you know what I mean? But I can't say, oh, well, that's the line. You crossed it. We have it. It's a definite line. The whole society has agreed on this line. You can't do that. I don't want to live in that society.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going with a lot of things, where this line thing makes sense, but it can't be a permanent line that every single person should be in control of, not the line that I get to cross for you, but what I say is acceptable for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I feel people do that in their own personal life on a regular basis.
Right.
You set up boundaries for people.
We like to say this is like, oh, well, like, for instance, when a black guy gets beat by a cop.
Okay.
And someone said, well, you shouldn't have ran. That's why. That's the line. You crossed the line when you ran away from the cop. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Well, have you ever run from a cop? No. Have you ever been pulled over? No. Like that's your line is you shouldn't run away. But like that was, you know what I'm saying? Like, how are you to define what's the right way?
Well, that's like even with the Louis C.K. thing and all that thing. It's like people like ask you like your opinion on things. It's I was like, I have a hard time because I'm not into what he's into.
Right.
So I can't put myself in his shoes.
Right.
Nor do I know what it's like to be a woman in a room being proposed at. So I have a really hard time coming up with any opinion.
Right.
Because neither of those is me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
I can empathize.
I can. Right. Like, listen, the way I look at it, if you feel bad about it,
then exactly.
It's bad.
Right.
You know, I don't know the situation. It's like every situation's its own thing.
Right. But it's,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like I always have a hard time giving my opinion on something of like the actual event.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I don't like giving an opinion.
Like,
yeah.
You know, I give my opinion on the aftermaths of event, like all the stuff since then, like, oh, did he come back too soon? Is it okay?
Yeah, yeah. You can,
like,
yeah,
I give my opinions on that because that's, but it's odd. Like, I don't know. I don't know what it's like to be a girl in any situation like that. So I can't be like, you know, you knew what you was going into.
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can empathize how she feels.
Right.
I can empathize. I'm an empathetic person. I can't sympathize. I could put myself and be like, I guess this is what I would feel like. Maybe.
But even away from the sexual stuff, like the misogyny, I guess there's more like business stuff, like more men giving their opinions than women.
Right. Right.
Yeah. I mean, especially if we're talking comedy, late night comedy. You know, comedy as a whole. There's always been that thing. There's more men getting opportunities.
Right.
But there's more men in comedy.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's more men doing it. So statistically, you're probably going to get more men.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of times these people are right. Is it perfect? No, but it's better than it ever was.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? There's more opportunities for women than ever before.
It's getting better.
It is. And I think sometimes they don't, like, that's never part of the story. It's always still what's not happening.
It's never part of the story because I'm not saying this is you, but there's so many people going, well, you already got it.
No, I get it.
And that's why they're not even going to talk about, first off, what they've gotten wasn't for you to give.
But it was like the same thing.
No, but what I'm saying is, it's like slavery. You're free. We let you free. Like, well, that wasn't even for you to give me. I was supposed to already be free. You can't take credit for something that you let me do. So when you say, you know, well, we're women, we're already giving you more opportunity. Like, yeah, I should just have the opportunity anyhow. What do you mean you're giving me?
I just don't like forced diversity. Like even Seinfeld got in trouble for that one time when they were asking him about like his lack of like even certain people on his coffee show, and even Seinfeld goes, I don't care about that. If you're funny,
right?
I want the funniest people.
Right.
I don't care if you're a man, a woman, black, white. I don't care. The funniest. And I feel like that's always what it should be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It shouldn't be like this.
But this wasn't about late night hosts all being guys. That's not what that was about. She was saying that she doesn't like that men mostly have the platform to talk about, you know, misogyny of like these guys who were being accused of being misogynistic. You know, and them having an opinion. She was just talking about they happen to be guys giving an opinion.
So you think like the major stories about that are always from men and not from a woman's point of view? Is that
no? She's just saying that when a guy talks about bad men, they make this. They're the ones defining what's bad and what's good.
Right.
And she's like, men shouldn't be defining what's bad and good for a woman.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be defining it.
Right.
You know, she just happened to mention that they're late night hosts that talk about it in their monologues. Yeah. But she didn't mean that the industry is all men talking about it. She just meant men in general, when they get to their monologue of the day and they're talking about the latest misogyny charges, they're giving you this opinion about men and misogyny, but they have this scale that they're moving up and down for everybody.
Yeah.
And she's like, that's the thing that's got to stop. Like, we got to stop giving, you don't tell us where the scale is. You know,
who does then?
Well, a man can't tell a woman how she should feel about something. It should, you
No,
know. What I mean?
but then but then this. I don't understand. I guess I just don't understand what she's really saying. Base,
right?
Like it seems very obtuse what she's saying. I don't really get her point.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Like I don't get what she wants what she wants people to do. Like what is her suggestion?
Her suggestion is. You got to look at it realistically and see that the guy that you think is a good guy, just because he didn't cross your fucking line, doesn't mean he's a good guy. That's it.
But that's a very weird. That's very odd, though.
But it's even.
No,
like
but I'm saying though, like,
but you even said it with Louis. You even said it with Louis. You were like, I don't know the circumstances. Like, and women are like, the fuck it matters what the circumstances is. I don't want a guy taking his dick out and saying, "Can I jerk off in front of you?" That's the circumstance. That is the circumstance. And you're like, but you don't know. Like, yeah, I know that happened. Bad enough. Like, that shouldn't have even happened. It doesn't matter what the circumstances was. That thing shouldn't even happened.
No, but listen. Somebody brought it up too. It's like okay, yes. If that happened now and it happened like it's here's to go back to the Louis thing. It's this whole like 15 years later thing. So like put it this way.
Not all of it. But
no,
yes.
but
I know
the Louis stuff. Oh yeah, that was 15 years ago. All those stories.
Okay.
15 years ago. Go read them. Yes, they were at the Aspen Comedy Festival when that shit happened.
Not all of that was there.
And right after that.
Okay.
It's all in that time period. I'm just saying. Like somebody brought up, you own a business,
right?
And you have this great employee, and then it comes out that 15 years ago, maybe this girl misunderstood something he did. Are you going to go fire that employee?
No, I talked about that. No, that's not.
You know what I mean? It's just like this weird, it's just a weird.
But the point is you have this. You don't have a late night. You're not talking about, but you. Just in this conversation, said we don't know the circumstances, what happened with him, I'm not talking about him working again. That's not the point of any of this. The point is having such an opinion and you setting why he's still a good guy because we don't even know the circumstances. Like, and in some women are like, why does it matter the circumstances? Nobody wants that done. Nobody wants that done. No matter what the circumstances are, it isn't okay to say, hey, can I jerk off in front of you? It's not okay. That's what they're saying.
Right. It's not okay. It's not okay.
So that's the point. The point is, it's not like you can't say, well, you never know what the real circumstances is. That shouldn't be something you say about it. It's like he raped her. Let's just say he raped a girl. Some guy raped a girl. You're like, but what was she wearing? It's like, does it matter? Like, none of that matters.
But have you ever misread a girl?
Yeah,
and went just a step too far. And she's like, "Yo, what the fuck?" Right?
No, but
you've never in your life.
I've never had a girl say, "Yo, what the fuck?" ever.
Or you didn't? I didn't want to go there.
No.
Okay. Well, I have.
Yeah.
You know, not that I don't whip things out.
I'm not saying it's wrong, but I've never had someone say, "What the fuck are you doing?" No.
No, not what the fuck are you doing, but put the brakes on. Put the brakes on. But I'm saying a girl putting the brakes on.
Yeah.
Could. You could have been like, all right, we're just going, and she just put the brakes on.
Right.
But it could have been way worse for her. Her line, like what you did. Right. But what I'm saying, though, that's the slippery slope because it may not have been as blatant as Louis whipping out his cock.
Right.
You know what I mean? But okay, you're making out with a girl. You think it's leading somewhere. You're adults,
I understand
and then
this.
and she goes, whoa. Now she tells her friend, you might grab my breast without consent.
Right.
Were you making out with him? Oh yeah, but what does that have to do with anything? You just can't grab my breast. I know, but like sometimes when things, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
But her line was somewhere, and you stopped at that line, but she read it as worse. You know what I mean? So, but is it fair to you for her to make you more evil?
No.
Than what you actually believed at that time in your heart? Like, because you're a good guy, but according to this girl now, you're a bad guy.
And that's the point of the standard line that I said. It's like it's hard, but you can't tell someone how far the line should be.
Right, but they can't make it worse because I didn't know where the line was.
Right.
They can't make me a devil because I didn't know where the line was.
That's a very specific topic we're talking about. This is just shit. That's not
right, but I'm saying that's the problem with that. It leaves up too much interpretation that can hurt people.
Then you're saying is that what? What would be your saying then? Because you're pushing back on this. What would you be saying? That same circumstance, that same scenario.
Okay, I'm with a girl.
Just that same scenario. You fucking went. You touched her, and she didn't want to be touched.
Okay, right? You're making out with a girl. You like I said, you always let the girl put the line.
Got it.
So okay, we're making out, and I'm going a little further each time, and then she cuts me off.
Right.
She goes, "Listen, I don't want to." You're like, "Okay,"
and it's done.
It's done, and we move on.
Now she goes to her friends like, just like grabbed me and just made me feel uncomfortable.
Right.
So now you tell her what is how does this change? How does this, the event?
Well,
change?
she's now telling someone. So we left.
She's telling we were making out, and he just like grabbed my tit, and it was very uncomfortable. Well, you were making out, yeah, but I didn't know he was gonna grab my tit, and it made me very uncomfortable.
Right.
That's all that happened. That was a real thing.
Because in my life leading up to you, it's always been happening with women with me. You go a little further to see what they'll allow you to do.
I understand.
So now this girl who created this line that is not the line I'm used to.
But she is not saying, she says, yeah, maybe really uncomfortable.
Right.
Uncomfortable. That's what happened to her. What do you say to her? Well, you shouldn't be uncomfortable. It was only nothing.
No.
But I am uncomfortable.
No, she could, but with the Hannah Gadsby thing, it's like you're just like, yeah, even bad guys think they're good guys. That's where I can fall into that. Because the verbiage she uses after that occurrence happens determines how bad of a guy I am on her. Right. When my motives weren't bad.
Right.
Because you're saying they create this line no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And I only bring it back to Louis. Because he did it. Okay, it's creepy what he did, but they said no, and he's like, okay, and left.
Right.
And then 15 years later, when he's famous, because he wasn't famous Louis then.
Right.
He was comedy,
I get it.
Just a regular comic going to festivals Louis. Only till he had something.
Right.
And that's the problem. It's like if you say that, they think you're part of the misogyny trying to hold women down, which is not true. Because every story's different.
Right.
And I'm not taking away that someone says that, but like you can't lump him in with the mega creeps.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you can't say that guys are even good guys could be bad. You know what I mean? You can't lump it in like that either. Even bad guys think they're good guys.
Well, they do, though.
Right.
Because I've talked to guys.
But that mixes a good guy in with that.
That's an unfortunate byproduct of it.
Right, but how come guys can have the unfortunate byproduct of that and have to accept it, but the girls can't have the unfortunate byproduct of overreacting?
They know that that's a part of the byproduct. They know that. But the sliver of both, the guy who really truly crossed the line by accident and the sliver of a girl who's overreacting is in the greater picture probably very small. The girl who's lying is very small to the guy who really did it. It's small percentages, but it's a percentage. It's a fucking trade-off you're going to have to go with because you can't go, well, since some people bullshit and some people overreact, you're all too bad.
Now listen, and I get all your side and my side on that specific type of topic. It's very murky waters. Mm-hmm. But I don't like her whole take on the line. I don't like it. I don't buy into it.
But what she's saying is like, and it's even you. Like, I'm not saying you can't say there's, a girl. Like, just say a rape case comes out. Like, this girl said that guy raped. Mike Tyson was told the girl said he raped her. That story comes out. When it first comes out, I'm not going to be like, fucking Tyson's a rapist. The girl said it. Now she said it because she said it. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing any of that. I will let the story pan out, and I'll tell you what I feel later. You know what I'm saying?
Robin says, women know exactly what they're doing. They know what vibe they're putting out.
See, that's too general.
That's from a woman.
I don't care. It's still general. Like, it's like women, not every woman just, I know what I'm doing. That's not the way it is. That sounds like a sneaky bitch who knows what she's doing to you. Not every woman's like that. And if you think that's how every woman is, then what society do you live in? I don't live in a society where everyone felt like I feel. Like, oh, you felt it? We don't feel the same way. Well, I don't know that society. I know societies that people have different fucking motives. People feel different. People are naive. People are fucking scared. Just people are all different. Some people in a relationship, they start making out with somebody like, oh my God, I didn't even know it was going to go there. It's the vibe you were putting out. You know what you were doing. No, I didn't. I know that's a real thing. I didn't know that I was putting a vibe out. I really didn't. It sucks. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to mislead you, but I didn't mean to put that vibe out. Oh, you know what you were doing. No, not everyone does. That's insane to even think that that's a fucking thing. That everyone knows what they're doing to somebody. I don't believe that. The point of the whole line thing was like having such a strong opinion on what they consider right and wrong, but it's based on their own parameters.
But that's the thing. It's like my right and wrong in my life is based on my experience in my life and parameters. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? if I meet a new person who has different parameters than me, I can only learn that by going to the edge of my parameters and them giving me the, hey, yay or nay. No, I can't go. I can't.
We're talking the sexual thing again.
No, but okay, not even sexual thing.
I'm talking about your opinion on something that you're giving an opinion based on what you are okay with, right?
Right, but what else am I going to give an opinion on?
That. So basically, what the point is that try not to speechy. It's like like Democrats or like a politician or a preacher talks about no abortion, and then you find out they had abortions. You know what I'm saying? Like just don't give your speechy speech on what misogyny should be based on your fucking loose line that you move back and forth on your own.
I just don't. You know what? I don't get it. The reason I don't get it is because this person's gonna speak in late night or whatever. I'm giving my take on my monologue.
Yeah.
Just from writing comedy, just giving your take on things based on your experience. You're not be like, let me go, before I write this joke about dating, let me come from this other girl's point of view and her line. And then you'll say it and it won't even be like, it won't even come off good because it's not even from your experience. So it'll seem like some hack premise that like you're not even buying into. So that's why I don't even understand her point what these guys are supposed to do. It's like why do I have it's almost like a censorship in a way. It's like, can you just think about it from another angle instead of your own for a change? No. How about you? How about you? See, then I'm confused on what the fuck she's even saying. Then
she's saying, "Shut the fuck up with your fucking opinion about misogyny when you fucking have no clue."
But why should she have the right to tell people to shut the fuck up about their opinion on misogyny? Who the fuck is she? And why the fuck is her opinion so fucking good? Because she's a girl?
She's saying, let the women decide what they feel is misogynistic. It's
in what context? In what context? In general?
Yes.
So a man can't speak on misogyny. That's her point?
No, you can, but your strong opinion pretty much is based on what you feel is right or wrong, right?
Well, what the fuck else do I have to go by?
I know that, but you're deciding what's right or wrong for someone else because you have an opinion. Like about what they should feel.
So she!
No, but what you should feel. Like if I do something, this is how you should feel about it.
That's what she's saying, though.
No, she's not. She's saying if something happens to a woman, if something misogynistic happens to a woman, they'll tell you what it is, right? Like you're not going to tell them where, well, I don't think he's that guilty because this is the line that we have.
So she doesn't want people's opinions.
It's just, I don't know what.
That's you're saying, don't think for yourself.
Nope. Think
what we think and take what we think as the word. That's what she's saying, which is like censorship to the nth degree. That's like fucking Nazi speak.
Well, that's what I was just saying about I don't like that, like this line that's created by society that we all have to follow the same line because I have people in my life that they fucking accept more and they're not as fucking, they're more tolerable or they're not as sensitive. They don't get their feelings hurt. They don't get bothered by everything. So their line wouldn't be this sensitive fucking line all the way up there. Their line would be like, no, it doesn't bother me. I don't give a fuck. So that's why I don't agree with this society making a line, but I do understand not being able to, I can say whatever I want about the Louis C.K. thing, but if my only thing is like, well, he's not that bad because and I'm making excuses for it. What is that? Why am I making an excuse for the guy to do something based on what I think is okay because I think it's okay, and maybe what I'm thinking is not okay.
Right, that's the weird slippery slope with the current climate is like you can't have honest discussion because if you peek onto another way, it's like you're denying the other. It's like, no, we have to talk about everything because it's not black and white. You know what I mean? Every occurrence is different.
Exactly. No,
everything's
every
black
circumstance
and white.
is different.
Every circumstance, and that's the problem. If you look at anything written about him or that subject matter, it's literally like if you.
I don't even want to bring. I don't know why I brought him up. It's really
but what I'm saying, because it all ties in to the current climate. It's part of what's going on today. There's still blogs every day about him performing.
Right. No, that's
but it goes to political stuff. It's like if you're a person that likes anything the Republicans do, it's like you're a Nazi. You know what I mean? It's like, it's always like, it's like when people say, like, I'm not saying you, but like people say, like, go vote. It's like, go vote for who I want you to vote for.
Yeah.
I don't want you to vote. I want you to vote for who I want you to vote for.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, there's no nuance no more. Everyone's got to take teams and sides and saying, like, you can't do this and you can't do that. Listen, everything moves slowly and slowly gets better. And that's the benefit of free speech.
I guess
you hear everybody's thing, you hear everybody's side, and then you slowly get better as a people.
I guess her point is we should let a woman decide what she feels is misogynistic.
In the moment, like when you're speaking?
Yeah, we should let a woman decide, like a woman decide what she feels is misogynistic, and not make excuses because what we think isn't that bad.
Okay, so a woman, whatever circumstances says, like, okay, I'm putting it out there. This is a very obtuse thing. This was misogynistic to me.
Right.
So the world should be like, okay, no questions. Go ahead. You're right. Misogynistic. I don't want to question the other side. You're right. You're right. You've made the line. We are all not going to ask you any more questions. You're done.
She says, I felt this.
Oh, you felt it? Fine. Then we're wrong.
And then I can't. I'm not a part of this.
Right.
So I didn't do it. But I can't tell her that can't be a real thing you feel, because I know this is not that big a deal.
No. But see, but nobody says that to people. Say, like, you shouldn't feel that way.
No.
People say, what happens is people ask questions and people take that as that.
No, it's what the point when you're doing a monologue about a topic that you're not even involved in. When you're doing a monologue about something that came out that is a misogynistic case that's out there, and your whole opinion is like, I know Bill. Bill's a dude. He's a good guy, and I don't see that line being crossed. That is like, you're allowed to have that opinion. No one says, but just because you don't think he crossed the line doesn't mean he didn't cross the line. Like, if that's just because you think it didn't happen.
Just because you did doesn't mean he did.
What?
He crossed your line, but this is a guy doing a monologue to millions of people. Just because he crossed your line, go fuck yourself. That's like the people that want, like, people kicked off radio and shit for saying things they don't agree with. Right. It's like, go fuck yourself. Don't listen to them anymore then.
Right.
So this motherfucker's got to fucking talk to you? No, he's a fucking performer. He works on a monologue every day, and he goes out and he does the monologue to get laughs, A, right? He's not trying to change lives.
Yeah.
And B, so, all right, there's 3 million people watching. Fucking a lot of people aren't offended by it. So he's supposed to change what he does for this small minority of people? That's fucking bullshit. That's bullshit. He's an entertainer. Right. If he was a politician, I'd say, like, okay, you got to watch what you say. Yeah. But you're a fucking comedy show host. Are we that fucking nuts as a fucking nation? That a fucking Stephen Colbert or Jimmy fucking Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel's the fucking problem? Get the fuck out of here.
If you did something wrong that someone thinks you did wrong, and I come on and I say, no, Joe's a good guy, everybody. Joe's a really good guy. And I know this is what happened, but I don't really think that's big.
Who said that? Like, where's this coming from, though? I never see late night hosts saying that.
You do something that's misogynistic, and I go up there and I say what I think is really misogynistic, and it wasn't what you do. Why am I endorsing you?
You're not endorsing me if it's what you feel. You're just giving your opinion
on something based on some loose rule that I have. So what doesn't make
my rules right? But why wouldn't you live by your own integrity?
But I'm moving. My rule is my rule. So yeah, she should suck it up. What the fuck?
So you'll never know everybody's rules. What I'm talking. That's why you live to your own integrity. You don't know other people's lines. It's just like when a comedian you ever see I had a young comedian I brought with me to open up for a show, and he bombed. And he goes, I couldn't figure out what the fuck they wanted. Right. And I go, the next time I go, fuck what they want. Do what you want.
Right.
You'll never know what they want. You don't know which group this is.
Right.
Just give them what you want. And next night he killed.
Right.
Because he just did with his integrity.
Yeah.
He wasn't, you know what I mean? But the first time he's like, let me try this. Are they into this type? Are they into this type of humor? Right. You'll never please anybody that way. You know what I mean? Especially as a performer. Like I'm saying, if you're a politician, you got to finesse a little bit. Right. And try and, these are your constituents, so you want to appeal. But we're talking about fucking performers, man. It's like it's ridiculous to me.
Yeah, I think you're looking at it as performing and joking, and he's just talking jokes and messing around.
But that's what we're talking about, late night hosts.
Yeah, but she's talking about the topic of misogyny, and where do these guys talk in their monologues just happen to be late night guys, people who have an opinion in the public eye that talk about what's going on in society. They have a Weinberg, a Weinstein, and fucking Cosby, rapist piece of shit animals.
Yeah,
throw them away, right? And then there's guys that do stuff that make a woman feel whatever certain ways they feel, and they're just not labeling them at all because they feel that the line that this guy, that she said cross, isn't really a big line anyhow. He has the same line. You know what I'm saying? So she's basically saying, if you have this line anyhow, how are you telling us what misogyny is? How are you defining it if your line is the same line? If you talk like those older guys, like the old guys, and they're like, wow, back when I was a guy, you pinched the secretary in the ass. It wasn't a big deal. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a big deal probably to the women. Felt like, why is this guy touching me all the time? But it was so in the society that nobody's saying anything about it. And you talk to those guys, and I'll talk to them now, those old guys, like, I don't think it was a big deal. And they're like, yeah, but it was. It kind of was a big deal. I know it didn't feel like a big deal, but it was a big deal. And you can't be like, this is the times. That's it. That's what we talk. That's because you're okay with it. But some people weren't okay with it. And you're okay with doing it. And the people who weren't okay with it happening, you're telling them, suck it up, man. Fucking move on. Why?
I just don't see it like that. I just want to see, just go into the chat a little bit. We had some people commenting. Back to the sex stuff, Robin had said if we're making out a certain way, there's definitely a vibe happening. Robin, that lets you know you can go a little further. I'm team men on this. Men are supposed to be mind readers. And then Angela Bully says, it's fucking annoying. I want you both to be yourselves. I listen to it all. Honestly, women have pissed me off lately, but that's hard to say without getting into it. Then it gets political, then PC. It's too much to get into. All I want is humor again.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I always feel like, especially with performers, as long as you're getting laughs, even if you're pissing, and you're supposed to kind of, it's like a comedian's job to piss people off a little bit. I know, Mike, you don't believe in that.
No,
You're like, everything's going to be a fun party.
No, I don't believe
that
either.
But late night, like Bill Maher and stuff, he pisses off both sides.
Absolutely.
He says, that's what they do.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what they do. And I just find it just ludicrous to be holding comedians in that fucking stern of a box to try and get them to please everybody. It's just it's annoying.
Yeah, I don't think when she was talking today, I don't think it was about a comedians being funny or the way they are be funny, the way their jokes. It wasn't about a comedy monologue. It wasn't about they're trying to make jokes. It was talking about when just people take a stand. And I don't know where she got it from, but I would think she said Jimmy. So what I would imagine, and this is I'm only imagining, I haven't read any further, that she's getting it from when Jimmy Kimmel was talking about Louis C.K. and kind of was like giving him like a pass on. Like, I give him a pass. I think he should be able to perform every day. I don't see nothing wrong. But again, I'm not in that I'm not a victim. I'm not something that he did that to. I don't know how it would feel for them to be like, he's on stage, everybody's clapping.
Right.
I know that. So I get that.
Yeah.
So, but Jimmy Kimmel was talking about how he should be able to get up and like whatever. Jimmy, you remember that? It was like 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
So I would imagine she's referring to that.
Right. Or it was the Jimmy Fallon episode Norm Macdonald was supposed to be on, when he made a comment about the Louis C.K. thing, and he got taken off panel because Jimmy Fallon came and said, some of my staff are crying because you're here now.
Oh, really?
Crying.
Ugh. So
I'm just saying, man. It's like, but that's what I'm saying. This is my whole point, is thoughts like hers, though nice, like they're trying to suppress people from giving opinions.
Right.
Which Norm did. Gave an opinion.
Right. No, absolutely.
And,
I get it.
I will fight that to the nth degree. I am pro free speech.
Absolutely.
No matter what the fuck you're saying, as long as you're not physically harming somebody.
Right.
Because you can't give in an inch to people like that saying you can't say things like this, you can't feel things like this, you got to think like me. That's Hitler speak, man.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. And I said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. It's always coming from the left. Yeah. The left is a war on free speech.
I'm from the left, and I don't have
bullshit.
A war. Right. I'm on the left.
But the people you support do.
Yeah, but I don't. And so I'm on the left. So I'm on the left.
Right. But you were just supporting someone on the left who is part of that.
I agree with her concept. I do. Not agree that it should be a hard line that we all need to fucking live a certain way. I understand when when a Jimmy Kimmel, and I agree with what he's saying. So what he is saying about Louis, I agree with. I am probably the one person I'm probably the person she's saying, like, that's why he shouldn't be saying it, because you got a guy like me going, yeah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? So, but I agree with it. But I understand the endorsement, because it wasn't a late night monologue joke. It was him on a taking a side on that type of thing, where basically telling people this is how you should feel about a certain situation when it comes to, like, Louis. And I'm a smart enough man to know how to feel on my own. Nobody's going to tell me how to feel. I'm going to feel the way I want to feel anyhow about any circumstance.
Right.
He didn't change.
I just don't like loose lines. That creeped me out. That whole, like you said, you don't believe in loose lines either.
No, like this is it. I don't like, no.
Oh, you don't believe in hard lines.
Like, I don't believe in, like, a line set by everybody, because I have people who aren't offended by certain things, but now I can't go to this line because you said this is a line.
Yeah,
because it's not my line and it ain't his line, so I'm crossing the fucking line because he don't give a fuck. It's like hanging out with a black friend and me busting his balls, like doing a racial joke with him. Yeah, and him, like, knowing that I'm full of love. Right, and never would say anything mean, so he would be, like, back and forth with me with it, but I can't do that because the society says there's a line I can't cross. Fuck you. He's my boy. And he's all right with me crossing this line. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's what she would like. That she was just talking in lines in general. It started with misogyny, but then she said men.
I may have to just go watch her do it, because I just, whatever it was, and I didn't fully.
You'll see.
I didn't fully get her point. You know what I mean? It seemed very confusing to me and very obtuse and very, like, opening, like,
it was about everybody. It wasn't about one thing.
No, I mean her whole like her whole take on it.
Well, so the take on the late night monologue guys, she was just saying that that's where we get a lot of our information from, on these late night guys. That's where it started from. But it went off and just talked about in general. She even blamed herself, said that even we all in this room have, like, lines that we put up that kind of go, like, you know, kind of like justify a lot of things we do. We have our own lines, which is, I mean, that's life. That's life. So that she wasn't saying we all don't need lines. You need to know. She was just saying that when there comes to certain people, you shouldn't tell a black, like, you were totally on board with a black guy, like, you can't tell him where his line is. Right. Like, for him. Right. Like, what can offend him, what can hurt him, what can hold him down.
I don't think you should tell anybody where their line is. Right. Exactly. Coming from her as well. Like, all around. Right. Like you're not telling me where my line is. Right. No. But I can't cross your line, but you need to let me know where that line is. Yes. Like, if I'm approaching it. Right, right. Like, you can't allow me to cross the line and then be like, you believe what he did? It's like, what are you talking about? Right. You know, like, you know? Yeah. Now, you know, I'm coming from a normal guy that doesn't cross lines. Right, like, you know, but crazily, like a Bill Cosby or like a racial or like a racist would.
But you may think, like, I think, like, I don't cross lines, but then I don't even know.
Right, but that's not your fault, though. Is what I'm saying. That's not your fault. If you live your life based on your experience, and if you make a mistake, right, you shouldn't be shunned for it. No, unless you do it again. Right. Unless you continually do, then you're a piece of garbage.
But what I've learned in my growing up in life, when I do cross a line, I have to own, I'm sorry. It's not your fault for not letting me know the line was there. And I crossed it. I didn't mean to. It was my bad. Yeah. So sorry. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're going to hold me to the fire every fucking minute because I crossed it by accident, I'm telling you I'm sorry. My intention was never cross it.
Right. Because the difference between today and years ago is that you crossed the line. It wasn't your intention. You're like, oh, shit, my bad. Is that they can hurt you more socially, right? Based on how they feel, and that's not fair, right? You know what I mean? They can publicly shame you for something that was innocent, right? You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. And that's the slippery slope. That's why you do need hard lines, because Soft lines allow people to make their own rules.
Right.
And sentences for people.
Right.
And this is why we have court systems with hardline rules.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because, and then, they argue those rules, and sometimes you come up with addendums to those rules but you need hard lines because it's to save you. It's to save you from,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I personally don't want to deal with people who have such hard lines. So I don't want those in my life. I don't want people who are like, this is how it is for me. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I need people who are flexible with circumstance, with situations. Now, sexual harassment, people who felt...
Well, then that's not Hannah Gadsby then. She doesn't want to be. She wants hard lines. Hard lines. She doesn't want soft lines. She doesn't want your interpretation. She doesn't. She wants hard line what I think.
I said that. I understand. I appreciate what she was talking about. That is, and I drew the conclusion that, like, it's like citizens being able to tell you what the speed limit is.
Yeah.
Like, we can't just go willy-nilly telling everybody what they should be It's like...
Or it's like what, like in baseball when, like, they say, like, talk to the GMs and the owners, they're like, what do the fans want? And they're like, well, if you go with the fans want, you'll be sitting with them by the middle of the season.
Yeah.
Like, you can't let the fans make your roster.
Right.
It's like you have to,
right.
you have your own rules.
Yes.
Your own beliefs.
But it was like we were talking a few months ago about offending people, just offending people on stage, saying stuff that's offensive, and we talked about I'm like, you just have to be aware that it could hurt somebody, right? That what you said, you can't be oblivious, and you can't just chalk it up to I was just fucking around. It's like, cool, still hurt me though.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Now, does it mean I'm a piece of garbage because of what I said hurt you? Let's fucking tap the brakes on labeling people permanently. On something they've done.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if I say something and it hurt your feelings, and then I could see why it hurt, I see why it hurt. Oh, my bad, man. I fucking never want to hurt you. Like that. My intention was never to hurt you.
Yeah.
You can't keep fucking firing at me. Well, you did though. Well, you did. Shut the fuck up now.
Yeah.
Now I want to hurt you.
Yeah, and you have the benefit of not being famous, because if you were famous and did that in a show,
right,
then you're in the news cycle, and then you're like, it's a fucking joke.
And I've said this a million times, and I'll say it again. We should not give validity to anybody complaining about speech. Anybody who's complaining about speech, we should give any validity to it.
Yeah.
I think that guy should be fired. Shut your face. We're not firing him. Right. Don't even listen to it.
Yeah.
Don't even want to hear you. Now, I got into this. You heard about the Nimesh Patel thing?
I saw the headline. I didn't really.
Okay, well, he was at Columbia.
Yeah.
Right? You want to hear what he said?
Yeah.
I just want to hear the joke. The joke.
Oh, yeah, I did hear the joke. It was about the black and gay people.
It's an older joke, too. I've heard black guys do it. I've heard people do it before. But this was the joke real quick. He said something about being gay and black. Being gays can't be a choice because no one looks in the mirror and thinks, this black thing is too easy. Let me just add another thing to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Talking about black and gay.
Yeah, no, it's
you know what I'm saying?
A good joke, yeah.
And they shushed him up, and they unplugged his mic.
Yeah.
And they got him off stage. And one person said, I'll just read this article real quick. This one person was like, in a statement from a students group, Patel sent... Oh, wait. Hold on. Patel, he tried to defend his material by saying was just discussing ideas from the real world, but the microphone was cut, according to a report. So one person was saying that, it's just, we can't just, somebody who went to Columbia was like, you can't just nix them. You can't invite comedians here and not let them do their thing. Their job is to create a little discomfort and comfort.
Wasn't this show for
It was for the Asian group.
Oh, it was? I thought it was some It
was the Asian American Alliance.
Yeah.
That's their group. So now someone said that, in a statement, the student group said Pete's set ran counter. Listen to the fucking, this is what infuriated me.
Yeah.
Pete's, Patel's set ran counter to the inclusive... Patel's set ran counter to the inclusive spirit and integrity of the event.
Yeah.
So then we acknowledge that discomfort and safety can coexist. However, the discomfort Patel caused was unproductive in this space. Just hearing that, unproductive in this space, makes me want to go and fucking kick the shit out of every Asian fucking American Alliance club member.
Yeah.
It's like he said nothing. He said nothing.
I know that.
And these types of things. So I was in the green
room. That's the result of not paying attention to slippery slopes earlier, and it just gets
fucked up. To Asians, you shouldn't say that.
Right. But I'm,
say slippery
no, I'm just saying.
You said slippery slopes.
Right. I know I did. I know I did. But like when I talk about that now, and we always talk about that, you always have this conversation about comedy and telling people what they can and cannot say, and slippery slopes. It just gets worse and worse and worse, and then it becomes to the point where things you don't think are bad are now bad because you've been given in all these years to make money, and then it comes a day where it's like you may be at a show where you say you hate your kids, be like, oh, can't believe you fucking get this mic off. You can't be talking about not liking your children. Be like, that's not even dirty. It is here. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, and then we're to blame because we allowed it to happen.
But that's the thing, allowing it to happen.
We allow it to happen by saying yes.
Yeah.
Yes, pay me. Come on, yes, I'll do whatever you want.
Right.
Just pay me. And so be like, you know what? Would you do, like, this is our art form. Get a musician then.
Right.
Get a magician. Stop fucking with our art form.
Yeah,
This is what we do. You're adults. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things happen. I can't. It fucking drives me fucking bonkers.
Yeah, it's really, I just was infuriated. But I said it was in the green room the other night, and I brought it up, and it was a white kid and a black kid. And I said, this is the problem. We got to push back.
Yeah.
As comics, we got to push back. I'm like, no, you don't get to tell us. And then they were like on board with the Alliance. Like they were on board with the school. And I'm like, we didn't get into it because I had to go and do my set. I wish I would have gotten into it further with them to find out why they were on board with the school. Now, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I understand that sometimes you're going to hurt people, offend people, make them uncomfortable. And you can't just take it like, I was just a comic. It's not always the out.
Right.
But that fucking statement, circumstance by situation, that statement is so not offending anybody. He's not trying to offend anybody. He wasn't trying to be offensive. He was just saying, can you imagine? He was just trying to prove a point that being gay isn't a choice.
That's people being offended for other people.
Right.
That's that crazy, like I'm offended for them. It's like, you're not.
Right.
You're making this something you're not. You're not living, you're not genuine.
Right.
You're not genuine. You're not living your own.
But like you said, we should, as comics, as bookers, be like, no, fuck you, man. This is what we do. Like radio hosts, well, no, we're not firing them. It's just listen to something else. Because we're not going to get a whole... How many people are listening anyhow? 3 million to my radio show? Fuck it. Go away.
Yeah.
I'll lose 50.
Well, I don't care. I've said that. I've argued people with that in the past on social media where it's like, yeah, they're like, there's no censorship no more. There's no, like, you still have freedom of speech. I go, yeah, you don't go to jail for speech no more, but they found a way around that.
Yeah, you pay
they attack your livelihood.
Yeah.
Which is just as bad.
Right.
When you take somebody's income, you might as well put him in jail.
Right.
He's going to lose his house.
Right.
He's going to lose a lot of things because you can't handle
your
ears. Like,
yeah, and the
like,
guys,
you know what? I turn on these shows. Shows come on TV all the time. That you're like, this is garbage.
Right.
Click.
Yeah.
I don't be like, hey, Fios.
Right.
If you don't take this preacher off,
right,
I'm canceling my service.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you know what? I put on Shark Tank and I forget about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know, man. It's like like George Carlin said it years ago, the pussification of America.
Yeah.
Like we're just getting more pussy and more pussy. We want everyone to never have feelings hurt. It's just like we want this utopia. It's like
I hear you.
It's crazy.
But it's also, again, it sucks. But like there is also this other end, like like when somebody says don't curse the show, right?
Yeah.
But then you're like, why? And then you're like, oh well, then you can curse. And then the guy goes up, and you'll see a comic go, fucking, I was on drinking my fucking water, and this fucking guy was like, fucking, when you got water, I'm fucking like, fucking love fucking water. Fucking water's the fucking best. Am I fucking right? This fucking guy, look at this fucking dude. Fucking love my life. And you're like, oh, that's why. Because this fucking moron went fuck
well,
every other word.
Well, it's not about a guy cursing. It's about a guy not being funny.
Right, but I'm saying I just made that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying is that doesn't. They're not gonna. If they're gonna hire based on just being funny, maybe that's a different criteria to look at. But these people are just doing jobs, so they're like, oh yeah, just don't curse because that's what you get sometimes when you have the you can curse thing.
Yeah.
So like sometimes when you say
that's poor comic research, then.
Yeah, but so not everybody has their fucking packets, and some people just put a show together. Oh, you have comics and you bring somebody. It's not.
I know. I'm just saying though. Yeah.
But I'm saying,
a loose Mike Gaffney that lays out some F-bombs is funnier than any clean Mike Gaffney. I'll put money on that any day.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean? I'm just saying.
I get it.
Because you use them in a way that's funny and enhances your jokes. You're funnier than the Mike Gaffney that can't say that. I've been working with you for 15 years.
Right.
I've seen you in many shows. When you're loose and not worried about what you have to say, you're not offensive. You're 100 times funnier.
But that's me. I'm saying that.
Right. But I'm saying they miss out on that.
Right.
They miss out on a best show because they're children.
Is like there's people been like say offensive crazy shit because they're just fuck. I'm not going to say the guy's name. I remember doing the joke about blind kids, right? I used to have a joke about blind people.
Yeah.
And I did the joke you were there. I did it at comics.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And those two blind people came up to me, and the mom came up to me with her blind son and his friend, and was like, "They loved your blind jokes."
Right.
And I was like, "Oh, thank you." She's like, "But you did say retarded like 3 times." I used to say it like as a throwaway. Yeah. And I was like, "Yeah." It's like, "Why? It just wasn't nice." And she walked away, and I was like, "It's so true. I didn't need it."
You don't need it, yeah.
So I'm just making another point. So I was talking to somebody else, and I'm watching him in this room do his jokes in another club, and he's like, "Yo, this motherfucker retarded, fucking retarded." And then somebody's like, "You can say the retarded word, like not the way you're saying it though. You're just an asshole about it." You know what I'm saying? So like, there's the guys who are totally offensive with the same word I said that wasn't meant to be hurtful,
right?
But it was taken hurtful. So I have to pay the price for saying it because there's a guy like this fucking moron out there who's going to call everybody retarded like meanly. Yeah. So it's like it's a balance that you have to figure out. Unfortunately, we're in the middle of this really shaking up of a balance.
Yeah, but I like I one time on stage and I was doing great, just doing great. I called just like an ad lib, like something I came up and I called myself a faggot.
Right.
I'm like, I'm such a faggot. And they were like, whew.
Right.
I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot that word. But you know what? I still stand by. In the moment, it was feeling it, and it just sounded like listen, I know they didn't like that I called and I even said, I'm like, I called myself that, right?
Right.
And they laughed at that. It's like, I'm allowed to call myself whatever I want.
Right.
Like, you guys can't be offended for me making fun of me.
Yeah.
I'm currently a faggot in this story that I'm telling you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they laughed at that. Down for them, but yeah, it's not a word I normally use, but it's in the moment.
Right.
It didn't seem like a bad word to me, and that's what I'm like. All right, you hire me for a show. I haven't cursed yet, but in the moment, I'm feeling it. We're having a gun, and I call myself a fag. You can't be like, never again have this motherfucker. It's like what? Like it just. It was organic.
Right.
It's not like I came here with a 10-minute bit breaking down faggots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, then you'll be like, yo, this guy.
We got Eddie Murphy?
And then I'd go to the booker and be like, did you know this guy had this like 15-minute chunk
chunk on fags?
Like, I think it's your fault he's here.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Right.
I don't know. Anyway, I'm having a great time, but I have to shower and do a show tonight.
Okay.
So this was fun, man.
I have to eat.
Yeah.
I know that.
So good stuff. I'm trying to think. I'm at Uncle Vinny's all weekend. Tonight, if you want to come in the next 4 hours.
You're headlining tonight, right?
No, I'm opening all week. Opening for Jay Black.
Oh, even yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jay Black, and then over the weekend, Joey Cola.
Okay.
And then so that's that. That's where I'm at this weekend, and then I think I may have a couple more shows on my website the rest of the year, but not a lot because my New Year's Eve got canceled. So no New Year's Eve for Joey. But New Year's Eve 2019, I'll be at Uncle Vinny's. So put that on your calendar.
Right.
A year from now. I'm already booked for next year's New Year's Eve. Right. I'm the headliner.
No promoting that.
Put it in your calendar now with an alert.
Yeah. Your calendar probably won't even let you do it. It's like,
Yeah.
you're a loser. Relax.
But I have shows in January, February. I just got booked to headline Stitches for the first time.
Nice.
Because it's weird. I get like this call. The caller ID says Los Angeles, California.
Yeah.
You know, like the dreaming comic. And he was like, fucking Los Angeles.
Finally.
Who is it? But it's usually a robocall. And I'm
Yeah.
like Joe Fernandez. I'm like, yeah. Like, and it was Stitches. This woman booking for Stitches Comedy Club.
Okay.
Like, this is the weirdest thing. And she was like, you want to come? You know, we're only doing a one-nighter now till the hotel gets renovated.
Right.
And then she was like, tell me what it pays to feature. And I just go, I featured there for a lot of years. Can you headline me? She goes, okay. I was like, wow. I've never taken that tact where it's like,
Right.
you know, can I headline and I'll bring a good feature for you? She goes, yeah, I want to get some new comedy. Yeah, that's great. I was like,
Okay.
man, I should try this more often. Just asking,
Right.
for what I want. It was just shocking that it was
Right.
so easy. The yes came so free. I was like, what? So I'll be there in February.
Nice.
So go to joefernandez.net.
I got nothing. I got nothing. I mean, like a couple of club spots next week, but I got nothing this weekend. It's the first weekend that I have complete off. Yeah. Rare weekend off.
Rare weekend off.
Not that rare.
Not that. I hate when people say that. Oh my God. Well, go to MikeGaffneyLive.com to see his future shows. Please subscribe to the audio podcast on iTunes, Laughable App, or iHeart Radio. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. You've been listening to All in Our Heads.